Hi and welcome to Hygge and Homeschool. I am a mom of two, a third grader and a toddler, and today I will be talking about how I teach history. For history, I don't use a set curriculum. I have a ton of spine books and I've thrown a couple of curriculums in there, and then I do unit studies. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you the books that we use right now. So these two are kind of the spine in my entire history curriculum. I have grabbed the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History, basically because it was on sale and I could get it fast when we started teaching. And I think it's good to give an overview of history, and it's just a good reference. We don't read this, end to end, but I use it as like a reference. The way I'm teaching Matilda history is that I'm Danish. So I teach her like the whole Danish history timeline. I teach her like the world. And then because we live in America, I'm teaching her the American timeline. And then of course, going out to different places in the world and what happens there. And this one is really good both for her and me to see that, like, oh, in Europe they were chasing mammoths and living like Stone Age people, while in Egypt they were building pyramids, and in China they were writing, and to figure out what happened at different times at the same time to get an overview. And so based on this one and this one, which is also brilliant with different timelines, it's just fun to sit and look at. They have like so many amazing timelines here. So these two, this one I kind of plan out the whole history of humanity. And this one is just a good reference to go in and look at different timelines throughout the unit studies that I'm doing. Then I have these two, a city across time and a street through time. And I really like them both. I think I like this one a little more, like the drawings in here a little more, but I think you don't need both of them, but they're just so good at giving like an overview at how a city or a street developed through time and the different time periods, and to see, especially since I'm teaching Danish history and this is like in Europe, and you can kind of see how the different streets that we visit whenever we're in Denmark and visit family have grown over centuries. So I think that's really amazing. Then my last reference book that I kind of dive into with each unit study from around the world and around history is this one, A Child Through Time. And it's just a children's history in different places in the world, different times. And it's good that we can like dive in and get that perspective. Then I have a few curriculums that I'm going to show you. This one I found at my local library. It's just it's just a history book. I don't even know what grade it was thought for, but I like it. We read a little bit when it goes with the unit studies, and it's also a good way to keep up with the timelines, and I can see how others have taught them and intertwined them. Then I would say my core curriculum, we don't use this as a curriculum as I do unit studies, but History Quest, I really like it. I did get their study guide for the early time. Let me get it out here. We don't use it, and it's because of my way of teach. I don't like to follow day to day. I like to follow our interests more, and if we want to spend, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on ancient Egypt, but don't really want to spend that much time on Stone Age or whatever, I kind of threw the study guide out and just use this as like a core where we read, and then and then whenever it goes in with the unit study, and then I can use the timeline here for kind of setting us up. I got all 3 of them. So the middle times, and then I think the US will be really handy when we come to US history, because again, I'm Danish, so I have a huge knowledge of Danish history and a lot of this knowledge of American history. So I really can't wait to dive into this one. And then the last one I have from, I liked reading A Well-Trained Mind. So I just got her book, and that's again, it has a timeline, and we can dive in based on the unit studies and read here. So that's basically my core history curriculum. And then I'll link below, above, I don't know, there'll be links for the unit studies, so you can go in and see how I get from there to teaching history. But this is the books that I have as my spine in our history curriculum.